Hey, Sarah here. Welcome to week 2 of Make a Difference. This week, we're going to talk about making a difference in this world by spreading love and kindness. Our world seems to struggle with kindness, but occasionally when people prioritize it, there is magic. A few months ago, I saw a random video on Instagram that was about spreading love and kindness. It was, again, very randomly from a Thai insurance company ad that focuses all of their TV ads on kindness. It shows a boy drawing who his superhero is and why in his class. It's a little cheesy, and it's in Thai, so you have to read the subtitles, but I found the full version for you guys to check out and be blown away by this little boy's love and kindness.
นี่พวกเธอพรชัยอยู่ไหนน่ะ
มาทำเวรที่อื่นแล้วครับครู
หมายความว่าไง
มึงเคยบอกครูเขาทำไมพรชัยไม่อยู่อ่ะเพราะว่ามันอ่ะไปช่วยแม่มันทำงาน
กลับไปทำงานบ้าน
กว่าด้วยกับแม่เราจะได้กลับบ้านพร้อมกันไงแม่ปวดอีกแล้วเหรอเมื่อปีที่แล้วอ่ะแม่มันอ่ะถูกรถชน
Okay, cheesy, cute, and the first time I watched it, full disclosure, I teared up or cried, or maybe every time I watched it. But you guys get it. Kindness and love, putting others before yourself. It's meaningful and it's moving. Why do you think that is? Well, I think it might be because kindness and love like this is surprising and unexpected in our communities. Our world can be extremely quick to judge, cancel, and cast out. We're oftentimes more concerned with ourselves and our own needs and wants, so showing love and extending kindness gets kind of put on the back burner. Let's take a look at what it would look like for us to make a difference in our circles by spreading love and kindness. Jesus, in one of his final conversations with his disciples before he went to die on the cross, talks about love. And he's very honest with them and his desires and hopes for how his followers would be known in the world. John 13 verses 34 through 35 says, "So now I'm giving you a new commandment. Love each other. Just as I have loved you, you should love each other. Your love for one another will prove to the world that you are my disciples." He's so clear. He wants us to be known by our love if we are his followers. And I think we see in scripture that Jesus wants us to love each other in maybe two different ways. One, I would say, is in heart, and the second would be in action. So let's look at the heart first. Let's look at how we can spread love to this world by having a loving, non-judging heart. So many people in our society want to judge, want to cancel people, and want to cast people aside. And even a lot of us Christians might be known for that in the world. There's a powerful story in the Bible that shows what a kind, non-judgmental heart can look like and teach those around them that don't have that. John 8 verses 3 through 11 talks about this powerful story. It says this: "As he was speaking, the teachers of religious law and the Pharisees brought a woman who had been caught in the act of adultery. They put her in front of the crowd. 'Teacher,' they said to Jesus, 'this woman was caught in the act of adultery. The law of Moses says to stone her. What do you say?' They were trying to trap him into saying something they could use against him, but Jesus stooped down and wrote in the dust with his finger. They kept demanding an answer, so he stood up again and said, 'All right, but let the one who has never sinned throw the first stone.' Then he stooped down again and wrote in the dust. When the accusers heard this, they slipped away one by one, beginning with the oldest, until only Jesus was left in the middle of the crowd with the woman. Then Jesus stood up again and said to the woman, 'Where are your accusers? Didn't even one of them condemn you?' 'No, Lord,' she said. And Jesus said, 'Neither do I. Go and sin no more.'" In this story, we see a beautiful example of Jesus extending kindness and love to someone that others were trying to punish. She was doing something that in that culture, and even to Jesus's way, wasn't upright, and yet he knew the most important lesson was how to love someone in that moment of failure rather than cast her out. And we see how everyone else responds. They acknowledge that they too couldn't throw that first stone. What a beautiful example he was to that community about how to love someone with their heart. Then we go to our actions. The more obvious expression of our love and kindness is through action, like that sweet little guy in the video. We don't have time to go through all of the examples that we see in scripture of Jesus doing this, but the one that always blows me away is when Jesus intentionally wanted to exemplify kindness and servant-heartedness by washing his disciples' feet. We see this story in John 13, verses 1 through 5. It says, "Before the Passover celebration, Jesus knew that this hour had come to leave this world and return to his Father. He had loved his disciples during his ministry on earth, and now he loved them to the very end. It was time for supper, and the devil had already prompted Judas, son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew that the Father had given him authority over everything and that he had come from God and would return to God. So he got up from the table, took off his robe, wrapped a towel around his waist, and poured water into a basin. Then he began to wash the disciples' feet, drying them with the towel he had around them." I love this story. I love that it says he loved them to the very end. It always just touches my heart. He loves you to the very end. He loves me to the very end. We see that Jesus was committed to loving those around him. Think about it, guys. Here we see him days before the hardest experience in his life. He's going to naturally be consumed with fear and a little worry and trepidation about what is to come. He knows he's going to the cross. He's having a final dinner with his friends. They should be comforting him, but he chooses to stick around and to love them and take care of them and to serve them in that moment. you too can make Jesus known by spreading love in this world. I love how Mother Teresa puts it. She makes it sound so important and yet so simple. She says, spreading love everywhere you go. First of all, in your own home. Give love to your children, your wife, or your husband, to a next door neighbor, some of the people in your family and your neighbors. Then she says, let no one ever come to you without leaving better and happier. Be the living expression of God's kindness. Kindness in your face, kindness in your eyes, kindness in your smile, kindness in your warm greeting. Kindness and love can be as simple as the warmth in our greeting, you guys. And kindness doesn't have to always be something big. It can be done with any chance you've got. You can do it by helping an older person cross the street, giving a stranger directions, giving up your seat on the bus or maybe the front seat to your sibling, or simply smiling at the salesperson from the grocery store, helping your brother or sister with the dishes or your parents after they cooked for you. These are small gestures that make a great difference in people's lives. And you may never know how that might light up their day by spreading love everywhere you go. We can be people who prioritize spreading love and kindness. As believers, we have the best example of speaking in love and kindness in the person of Jesus. We can look to his example, attempt to live like him, and love each other like he commands. Let's talk more about how to put this into action with our groups.